Hedera just recently announced a new strategic partner. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, and I'll talk about my mindset when it comes to hypothetically $3 later and what I think about the price of HBAR. But I first want to talk about this real quick because Hedera, they recently announced how the Hedera Council welcomes Halborn Security as a strategic partner. Now, they've also welcomed other partners when it comes to this, but Halborn, it seems to be the most impressive one, at least to me. Because why? We take a look at, for instance, Halborn, one of the main focuses of it is blockchain security. Now, people may be thinking, no one really cares about this. However, I've done a little bit of research, and actually, when I take a look at Halborn, there's a section that says who trusts us when it comes to their site, and it does say something like Solana, Coinbase. We take a look at, for instance, even Animoca. Now, we got to think about this, right? Animoca, one of their subsidiaries is something called Sandbox. And as we all know, Sandbox is very popular, right? Especially when it comes to that metaverse space. But of course, that was back then. But still, Animoca is still pretty popular. And also on top of that, keep in mind, Animoca at one point, I saw, it was like a number of years ago, but still, at one point it was valued at around $5 billion. So I think that's pretty impressive. So when I take a look at Halborn and them becoming a strategic partner when it comes to the Hedera Council, I do find that pretty impressive, at least to me. And keep in mind, I recently made a video on Hedera's recent partnership when it comes to McLaren Racing. So they've already done McLaren Racing. I also take a look at something like this. I just find it very impressive. And I just think Hedera is doing pretty cool things overall. Not to mention, right, in May, Hedera, there's going to be Hedera Con, right? Basically a Hedera conference. And again, Hedera's having this start to 2026, which I find very impressive, fundamentally speaking. Now, in terms of the price charts, I mean, of course, it's a different case. There's been a pullback, but you know what? My kind of thought process when it comes to hypothetically $3, it just hasn't left my mind because I take a look at, for instance, what Hedera is doing. I take a look at the governing council, which includes something like, for instance, Mondelez, right? One of their brands, by the way, does include something like Cliff, like the Cliff Bar, and also even Oreo. Also, I take a look at Hedera Hashgraph. It uses not traditional blockchain technology. It actually uses a directed acyclic graph. So really, I just find this all pretty interesting. And the thing is, if I want to look for alternatives beyond projects that don't use traditional blockchain technology, Hedera, to me at least, seems like the most popular one. So if let's say there's an altcoin season, but then there's this somewhat attention for projects that don't use traditional blockchain technology, what is one of the few that's there? Arguably, it's Hedera, and it's arguably, I think, also the most popular. So the concentration of the attention might be a little bit more focused as opposed to, let's say, there's many other famous alternatives, which I don't think there is actually as of right now. We'll wait and see, but I just don't think there is as of right now. So what could happen if there was an altcoin season? Sometimes this is my thought process. $3, keep in mind. Okay, I get it. We're quite a ways away from that. We're currently around 27 times lower than that. Now, at $3, though, considering current circulating supply, we're talking about a market cap of around 128 billion. Pretty massive in and of itself. I'm totally aware of that. But Dogecoin reached over 80 billion back in 2021, years ago. I don't know if this sounds so ridiculous maybe to me. However, it's not like Hedera Hashgraph is using traditional blockchain technology. Again, right, it's a little bit different. Had Hedera, let's say, just been another project that's talking about using traditional blockchain technology, maybe that market cap might seem a little bit outlandish, at least to me. But when I consider kind of the uniqueness, the different vibes of Hedera compared to a lot of other projects out there, if I consider BNB reaching over 100 billion in terms of market cap years ago in 2021, I don't know if this might sound so ridiculous to me. Again, that market cap, but we'll have to wait and see. The thing is, I feel like no matter what the BNB chain does, or no matter what something like Solana does, I just feel like it's a little bit hard to kind of eclipse something like a directed acyclic graph because just by nature, they do use traditional blockchain technology. This is my perception. But ultimately, I'm still a fan when it comes to Hedera. I just haven't given up, and I just still like the vibes overall. So currently, I'm just going to stay waiting. That's all I can do. But that's pretty much about it. So I just wanted to make this video real quick to talk about this partnership and just kind of my thoughts on this. And yeah, just what I think about it overall. But ultimately, I just haven't given up. But this is my mindset. I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.